Dugongs and manatees are some of the most iconic animals of the Holocene. The order they are a part of today, Sirenians, contain just 4 living members. But in this video, I only want to talk about one of them and all of its relatives. Dugongs are the last living representatives of their family, scientifically known as Dugongidae, a family of animals that can trace their origins back to the Eocene epoch. As a family, the origins of Dugongidae is pretty complicated, as many early members such as Carbosiren, Anisosiren, and Sirenavis are all known from very incomplete remains. The first subfamily of Dugongidae to appear was Halotheriinae. Halotheriinae appeared roughly 48.6 million years ago, in the mid to late Eocene epoch. Eothyroides was one of the first members of this subfamily, living from 48.6 to 33.9 million years ago from the middle to the late Eocene. Eothyroides contains at least half a dozen recognised species, living from Egypt to Madagascar and all the way east to India. Eothyroides contain the subfamily's namesake, Halotherium, was next to appear, living from 37 to 28 million years ago in the late Eocene to the early Oligocene epochs. The subfamily's namesake, Halotherium, Halotherium contained 2 species, both living in Europe, and is known for pretty complete remains, especially when it comes to fossil material. The next and probably final genus to discuss is Eosiren, which lived around the same time as Halotherium, between the late Eocene and the Oligocene epoch. The next and probably final genus to discuss is Eosiren lived in what is today Egypt, and it would have relatively closely resembled modern-day manatees and dugongs, although it was only a distant relative. Metaxatherinae was the next subfamily to split off from the main line containing all other dugongs, around 25.7 million years ago. Metaxatherinae was the next subfamily to split off from the Metaxatherium albifontanum was the first species in the genus to evolve, living from 25.7 to 23.6 million years ago, appearing in the very late Oligocene epoch. M. albifontanum was around the same size as a smaller modern dugong, about 2.5 meters long, and it lived in Florida and South Carolina, a place where the West Indian manatee lives. From the southeastern United States, the genus would spread far and wide, eventually making it to West Central Europe and Northern Africa, along with the Mediterranean Sea. From the southeastern United States, the one living genus in the entire family of Dugongidae is the genus Dugong, which contains 1 species, the species with the completely scientific name and serious name of Dugong. The dugong is a very widely distributed species, living off the coast of many Pacific islands such as Australia, Papua New Guinea and the Solomons, within the Indonesian archipelago, on the west coast of India and Sri Lanka, on the northern coast of Madagascar, just off the Mascarene Islands and Aldabra. A very small population lives in the Red Sea, and the rest live off the east coast of Africa and in the West Sea. the Red Sea. There are a few key ways to distinguish this animal from a manatee. The structure of this animal's mouth is different, with its teeth and lips being suited to deep-sea grazing, and it has a little bit of convergence on the side of cetaceans. The flattened tail fluke of the dugong more closely resembles all other marine mammals than its relatives the manatees, although this is convergent evolution, as dugongs and whales are not even near related. Most individuals of the species grow to around 3 meters long and weigh around 420 kilograms or 930 pounds, with more typical weights of 250 kilograms or 550 pounds. The largest reliably measured individual of this species grew to around 406 centimeters or 13 feet 4 inches long, weighing 1,016 kilograms or 2,240 pounds. Similar to modern-day cetaceans, dugongs will also tend to show sexual dimorphism, as females are usually larger than males. Dugongs are shallow sea grazers, and they dive to a depth rarely more than 39 meters or 128 feet deep. Dugongs are shallow Dugongs are K-selected animals, having few young and taking very good care of the ones they do have. And as a result of this, they can live a very long time, similar to modern-day elephants, with the oldest known individual reaching an age of about 73 years. The final, fully extinct subfamily of Dugongidae is Hydrodemalininae, containing two genera. The final, fully extinct subfamily of Dugongidae is Duisa siren was the first of these genera, living from 15.97 to 5 million years ago. Duisa siren jordani is the only known species in the genus. Duisa siren was similar to modern-day manatees, except larger, living in cooler waters around the North Pacific Ocean, feeding within kelp forests out on the open coast. The final genus worth mentioning in today's video was Hydrodemalis, containing 3 species. Hydrodemalis spiza, or the Takakawa sea cow, was the first member in this genus to appear, around 3.6 million years ago. The Takakawa sea cow, discovered in Hokkaido in Japan, is relatively well known from several relatively complete skeletons. A slightly more basal species, the Cuesta sea cow, Hydrodemalis cuestae, was slightly larger than the Takawawa sea cow, at 9 meters or 30 feet long. It was also found in Hokkaido, although it was also found in what is now California. Although both are part of the same genus, it is more likely that the Takakawa sea cow, Hydrodemalis spiza, was the ancestor of the final species I'll talk about in this video. Hydrodemalis gigas, or the Steller's sea cow, was the first member of this genus to be scientifically described in 1741, and it wasn't described from fossils. Steller's sea cow was discovered around 1741 by George Wilhelm Steller, who was a famous naturalist from around this time. The species was thought to have always been endemic to the Commander Islands where it was first discovered. However, subfossil remains from California disprove this. Regardless of how this animal went extinct, it was almost certainly because of humans, representing the first man-made extinction of a marine animal in probably history, or at least a marine mammal in history. Let's just hope that we can save the one living member of this entire family, Dugongidae, and make sure that it survives for as long as possible, or else a 48.6 million year long line of animals will go completely extinct. Next video, I will be talking about the other living extant family of Sirenians, Trichecidae, also commonly known as manatees. Anyway, I'll see you soon.